What are you wearing? What is Lolita fashion? Have you ever heard these questions before? I have a few times. And that's why I thought I'd make this video. Disclaimer, I've been in the fashion for about 3 years, actively wearing it and going to a few meets. But I've known about Lolita fashion since about 2009 and slowly learning more about it throughout the years, and as my fashion sense developed throughout those years, I slowly decided that I wanted to try it. What is Lolita fashion? Well, it's a street fashion that started in Harajuku, Japan, and is mostly inspired by Victorian and Rococo styles. There are 3 main sub-styles within Lolita, and those are Gothic, Classic and Sweet. The key elements to any Lolita outfit are the skirt, which is normally quite poofy and around about knee length, although some people do wear slightly longer skirts. The shoes are normally either tea party shoes or historically inspired shoes such as Victorian-esque boots. Although you should always wear what's most comfortable for you. I've worn DMs sometimes and it can still look good with a cord. If you're wearing a sleeveless dress, then it's normally expected that you'd wear a blouse underneath, as the fashion does stem in some sense from ideas of modesty. Headpieces are seen as a very vitally important part of any outfit, so much so that most dresses actually come with an accompanying headpiece. Overall, any Lolita cord, which is the term used for a full outfit, should be an expression of femininity. The history of Lolita is quite a long and complex one, and there's no cut and dry answer to most of the questions of where did it really come from and who really started it, but there are a few things that we do know about it. Many of these street fashions stem from Kawaii culture that began in the 1950s and 60s. Fashion styles that Lolita can directly link to started in the 70s, with many brands establishing themselves throughout the 80s and 90s. Western romantic fashion directly inspired Otome fashion, think sort of Laura Ashley style clothing, and this then went on to inspire Lolita fashion. In the 90s, Visual Kei started to have a greater influence on Lolita, with Mana from the band Malice Miser opening his own Lolita brand. Throughout the early 2000s, Lolita was still in many ways changing and adapting, as can be seen in publications like Gothic Lolita Bible. Being experimental in the fashion was the norm, and still is in Japan today. During this time, Lolita began to spread across the world as international shopping became easier and the internet created spaces for people to share this fashion. This included the live journal Lolita Handbook around 2004 to 2006. Around 2010, the fashion was firmly cemented around the world, with rules and advice pages helping newbies create the ideal Lolita cord as we know it today, although some things have changed a little bit, including the use of wigs. Why do people wear this fashion? Well, like all alternative fashions, it's an expression of yourself, and many people see it as an expression of their femininity as well. The rigid ideas of dress in the older generation of Japan meant that it was only a matter of time before the younger generations created new fashions to rebel. Young women were put off by the over-sexualization of women's clothes coming from the West and wanted to embrace the youthfulness they were being told to abandon once they became adults. There's a community around this fashion that a lot of people enjoy being a part of, either as an active member or just a content consumer. A lot of people don't wear this fashion every day and reserve wearing it for special events and organise Lolita meets. Although not a lot of Lolitas wear this every day, there are a few people that do wear this fashion every day, and they're known as lifestyle Lolitas. But it's really up to you about how much you wear this fashion, and it's all about enjoying the fashion as opposed to it being something that you feel you have to wear at certain points in your life. As it's not a fashion you see every day, a lot of people have the misconception that it's a costume, but it's not, and a lot of Lolitas get upset when they're asked, are you in a play and what are you cosplaying? Why is it so expensive? Well, it doesn't have to be expensive. You can make your own Lolita, and there are plenty of alternative sites online now worldwide that are selling more affordable Lolita for everybody. But there are a few reasons why proper Japanese Lolita brands are expensive.
Many of the dresses aren't mass produced, but are sold in reservation sales and made to orders. The dresses use a lot of fabric and require a higher level of skill than many high street clothes do to produce. There are additional costs incurred for the printed dresses. These not only include manufacturing and materials, but also payments to artists to keep the designs unique to that brand.
There's a lot of controversy over the name Lolita. Was it named after the book? Is it any relation to the book? Well, no, it's not. It's not to do with the book. They were aware of the book in Japan, but there's actually a lot of ideas about where the name came from.
The name Lolita first appeared in print in 1987 in the September edition of Ryuko Sushin magazine. Others suggest it was chosen as it was the cute nickname for the name Dolores in Spanish. This is because many of the brands use religious imagery in their gothic designs. It has also been suggested that the name Lolita was used in a derogatory term to begin with, but has been reclaimed by those within the fashion, in the same way that punk and goth were reclaimed by those fashion subcultures.
Here are some common terms that you might find useful. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it helped teach you something about Lolita fashion. I think although there are lots of these videos out there on YouTube, it's important to keep making these, as ideas and views around the fashion will slowly change over the years, as they have done for the past 30 years of the fashion. So thank you so much for watching, and as always, please like and subscribe. Bye!